Well, hello there, guys. We're going to get started here on Flashpoint Campaigns, Red Storm. And if you guys would like to select a side, Muso, I'm not sure if you're in the chat right now. I think I saw Muso earlier. If we could maybe just get a straw poll going that says NATO or USSR. So we're going to see if we decide to take NATO or the Soviet Union. Thanks, mate. Let me increase that a bit. I'm going to lower the desktop volume just a bit as well. Hopefully that's not too loud. Yeah, I love the soundtrack to this game. Absolutely right. Very, very epic indeed. Well, let's hope that's better right there. So we have about 3 minutes until we get started officially. In that 3 minutes, we'll decide if we're going to play as the Soviets or as NATO. Remember, in this particular iteration of the conflict, the USSR attacks first. So we'll have to see. I mean, that's usually always the story. The USSR are always the aggressors. So in this particular case, the USSR attacks first. If we're going to play as the Soviets, we're going to have a lot more offensive missions. Yeah, thanks, Siri. And that is definitely an annoying issue. If you guys want to just type in the chat, for those not hearing, just to be sure, try to refresh the stream anytime I come on, because we've had that issue, and it's a little weird. I'm not sure why. I'm going to vote Soviets, just because. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a pretty obvious decision there. Wow, guys. That's... What do we have? A room full of Reds here? My goodness. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so we're definitely going to play as the Soviets. Let's go ahead and do a scenario or a campaign. And I am going to be the Warsaw Pact commander. So there's a few interesting, obviously, fights here. Now, one of these is during the night of the 1st Armored 3rd Division battled the assault battalions of the 7th Tank Division. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go through the entire thing for you guys because there's quite a lot here. Essentially, what I'm deciding is whether or not we should jump into this scenario. Thor's Hammer, played best as NATO. We really want to pick one that's played best as the USSR. So we're just going to jump through these scenarios. Head-to-head. And I'm so used to playing as NATO that it's going to be interesting to actually play as the Soviets. So I think we have to probably go down to the bottom of the list for some Soviets. Third Red Banner Slam is interesting. Okay, so we've got one right here. I like this one. We've done it before. It's Witch's Cauldron. We've done it from the NATO side, though. So the 11th Guards Tank Division, 1st Guards Tank Army, has battered the 7th Panzer Division near Hessek-Oldendorf. It seems the Germans have lost their famous Elan. The looping road at the village of Renton is a major objective of the 1st Guards Tank Army. So this is going to basically be us moving forward to take that objective. As you can see, we've already taken off, or turned on the fog of war, I should say, by unchecking the ability to always see the enemy units. In this case, if they're out of our line of sight, we're not going to see any. So here we go to the glorious Soviet Union for attacking this particular area. I cannot wait. So interestingly enough, when we're playing as NATO, you get a lot more tank selection, it looks like. And I could just not be looking at the rest of the map. Oh, no. We got a lot of tanks. Interesting. So we've got some interesting points here. 2,200 there, 2,800 here, 3,000 there. I mean, these are very important points, and we pretty much know what we have to do. I mean, we have to advance forward quickly and basically overwhelm the enemy. So we're going to jump into the stream here. Thank you, Siri. Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, we're definitely going to be on the offensive, and this is one of many Soviet campaigns. I guess this isn't the main Soviet campaign. This is actually a scenario. We could do a campaign if we started doing Flashpoint campaigns consistently, but it's not something we play too often. It is an older game. It's still one of my favorites on the actual in the actual catalog. But I think we're going to start off. I think I'm putting too many tanks up for grabs right away. So I'm going to take some infantry divisions as well, put them over here, do the same with these units right here. And these guys are basically going to be going on one massive attack. I mean, there's no other way to do this. I think we absolutely need to overwhelm the NATO opponent. They're going to have better tanks in terms of technology. Their tech is going to be slightly better. That's just the way it's going to be. So let's see. We've got some artillery back here. That's definitely useful. And a lot of infantry, which, you know, being the Soviets kind of makes sense. I think I'll have these guys actually dig in. Let me see if we can do that. We might have to start for, we might have to wait until the game starts before we actually do that. Let's put that guy there. And I love, by the way, the icons over here on the right side. I don't know if you guys are seeing that. Just really, really cool there. Veteran HQ. And we are the Red Storm Brigade. Okay. I think we can absolutely start giving orders pretty soon here. And my basic goal is just to do a standard red charge, a Soviet charge, you know, and just basically overwhelm them. I guess you could call it sort of a red blitz, where we're just going to basically jump right in. So I'm going to assault, boom, boom, to go ahead and get to that major objective. We'll hold once we get there. We'll do the same over here. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining. We'll move deliberately over here. I want to try and take some of the tanks up the road, of course, to sort of hold these positions, maybe even get over here on an elevated area and also kind of a wooded area. And this is not actually a tank. This is a T-80B1. Actually, it might be a tank, T-80B1. I need to learn my Soviet tanks. Let's go ahead and move this guy up as well. So I'm basically just trying to cut off this particular area. I'll go ahead and screen in case any enemies are nearby. Over here, we're going to do the same thing. There's a lot of planning that goes into playing a game of Flashpoint campaigns. There's no doubt about that. And some people like that. Some people are not huge fans of it. Personally, I really like it. I like being able to plan my moves. I think we were having a discussion the other day here in the chat about, you know, real-time strategy versus turn-based strategy. You know, while real-time strategy is fun and engaging and all that stuff, you know, there's something about turn-based strategy. It just kind of allows you to enjoy your coffee, really sit back and think about things, think about what you're going to do. And this game absolutely allows that, and I really enjoy that part of it. Let's go ahead and grab these tanks as well. I'm not going to move all the tanks right away, but I definitely want this guy going over there immediately. So let's go ahead and hold. We'll bring a supporting unit, of course. And we should pick move hastily, to be honest, because that way we'll actually move much faster. So let me take move hastily. 1, 2. And I'll have him screen. Also start moving some of the infantry forward. But I'm going to move them into the town of Rentown. So I hope that they do this properly. I'll hold. We still got plenty of units to move. I mean, we aren't even close to being done with our movements. So, again, I don't know if I want to move every single one of these guys. And as you can see, some of the BTRs that we're taking, they will dismount once they actually get to their location. For now, they're not really doing too much. What we're trying to take are all of these points right here. 3,000, 2,800, or 2,600. Is that, no, it's 2,500. Gosh, my eyes are failing me. And too much gaming, guys. Way too much gaming. Now I see it, 2,500, 2,200, and 2,800. So we want to take all those points, basically. I think there's probably some over here in the south. No, it's 2,500. Gosh, my eyes are failing. Just hit the play button there. Let's take a look. Used to play Age of Empires, mad with my friends in high school. Yes, of course, of course. And actually next week, we'll be playing, speaking of RTS games, we will be playing some Empires Apart. So that should be fun. And I'm going to go ahead and end the turn. We're turning it over to the NATO enemy. We don't want to end the game. My goodness. All right, let's start our turn. 28 minutes to Soviet orders. Here we go, guys. Oh boy, they're appearing right out of, I mean, they're right there. I didn't realize they were going to be that close. That's good for you guys. You're going to see a lot of action very soon. All right, Delayed 30 minutes by obstacles. That's not helpful. Okay, we just killed a martyr, guys, and that's very good. Obviously, martyrs are anti-tank weapons. Destroying one is very useful. Looks like we may have wiped out a few more over here in the south. 4 martyrs. Oh, man, I'm loving it. 1 medium machine gun. Oh, it's looking good. It's looking good, but let's not get too happy. There's an ATGM launch there from across the Weser. It was actually shot from across the Weser. That has to be at least 1.5 kilometers, killing 3 of our BTRs. So the enemy absolutely is ready for our attack. Another 2 martyrs down. At this rate, they won't have any defenses in front of this town. Anyone who retreats will be sent to Gulag. 4 BTRs down there on our side. That's basically our infantry contingent. And that's kind of the reason I was looking to see if we could dig in. Even though we are on the attack, this map is pretty small. So the enemy's going to be, waiting for us, I'm sure. And digging in might be a better bet to kind of scout the area before we just start attacking. 2 of our BTRs are lost, although we have to keep in mind that as the Soviets, we are going to take more losses than the enemy. We've got to accept that fact. Love to get some shots on that tank, but I think the terrain is just a bit too difficult for us to do that. All right, we're getting closer, though. I like this. We're definitely advancing. It's a frightening advance, but those ATGMs could stop us before we even get there. Come on, boys. Good shooting. There we go. That's going to be another Panzer Grenadier Division down, and if you see those little blue burning vehicles, those are enemy vehicles as well as enemy infantry units already being hit by our guys. And that tank in the woods there is frustrating me because, number one, it's got a really nice elevation, and it's shooting guys, at least a kilometer or 2 away. This is quite a distance. All right, we just lost 3 T-80s. It's not what I'm looking for. 3 T-60s, actually, I believe. Oh, no. The enemy tanks definitely won that one. That is brutal. 4 T-80s. Not nearly as easy as when we were playing as NATO defending. And again, I would definitely recommend if you're a new player to the game, you start with NATO. Because with NATO, your real job is defense. You get all the nice, easily defendable ground, the city, landscapes, etc. You could put some tanks on some roads, on some highways waiting for the Soviets. So you're going to be in somewhat of a better position to approach the game. And another cool thing about the game is I believe if you defeat 80% of the enemy army, then the enemy army surrenders. So as NATO, I've gotten a lot of victories just by basically being as defensive as possible and hitting every Soviet unit that basically shows up until I'm down to only a few men and I end up winning because of the losses on the enemy side. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Then again, you have to keep in mind that if you're playing as the Soviets, you're going to lose a lot of units. That's just going to happen. We just launched our own ATGM, but it missed the enemy tank, unfortunately. But I want to get some kills on these enemy tanks. We're doing great against their infantry and their anti-tank weapons, like the Martyr, but otherwise, not so good. There we go, ATGM launched, killing 2 of our T-80s. That infantry division did a good job. And that, of course, is mechanized infantry. No, that doesn't mean that they're mechs. It just means that that infantry is armed with anti-tank weapons. So, RPGs, ATGMs, etc. I'm guessing the West would not have RPGs, just ATGMs. We might have both. Yeah, that's right up close and personal. I mean, there's no way to stop that 3 T-80s down. Ooh, looks like we may have gotten some hits on them. I'd love to kill some of these tanks. 2 Leopards down, guys. Beautiful. The Leopards are definitely infinitely more valuable than the T-80s, so I'd say 4 T-80s for a Leopard, I'll trade any day. That being said, they're getting a lot of kills here. I think so far they've killed already 12 T-80s or 10 T-80s. It's been quite a lot. And these obstacles, if you see these little blue hexagon shapes on the map, these are delaying us. So they're delaying our movement, and it's giving the enemy more of a chance to set up, which is not good. ATGM launched by that damn mechanized infantry killing another one of our T-80 tanks. ATGM launch against our HQ. Now thankfully that one missed. Come on, guys. Okay, it looks like we got one man-pad down, which is good. A man-pad, I believe, is an anti-tank missile system. Not bad. I mean, I'd rather have taken out a Leopard, but we'll take a man-pad. ATGM launch from our side. Oh, that was an amazing hit. Did you guys see that? Took out the two weasels, or is it Wiesel? I mean, it's probably spelled like L.A. Wiesel, the author, but I guess we'd call him a weasel. And wow, that was an amazing shot. That's like a 2-kilometer shot with the ATGM. And there's a reason they call it an anti-tank guided missile. I mean, that thing, you can look up some videos online. It's beautiful how it works. Just kind of pops up in the air, finds the target, and off it goes. There we go, another ATGM launch, killing a Leopard. Hey guys, it looks like we are underestimating the power of our infantry units. Our tanks are getting chewed up, but our infantry are managing to get a few kills. Come on, boys. I should have sent the infantry out first. First rule of urban warfare, send the infantry in front. Grippa made a major mistake there. Nice, we just got rid of another Panzer Grenadier squad. Our men are moving forward, and it looks like, is that an artillery barrage? It sure is. Looks like our guys are doing AI artillery barrages. I didn't set up the artillery barrage because we didn't know where the enemy was. But it looks like the AI picked a pretty decent area. It's kind of where the enemy is. And being the Soviets, not too worried about civilian casualties here. I might go ahead and just start dropping some rounds inside the town itself and hope to get lucky. One of the great things about this game, I mean, amongst others, is just that awesome ability to see the landscape change right before your very eyes. And, you know, to see these shell holes, these crater holes, and how it would affect daily life for people inside these towns. I mean, obviously, it would be devastating. You know, even just a single assault strike or airstrike on one of these highways, you know, would basically shut down traffic for a very, very long time. There we go. We got another Leopard. We definitely got a Leopard, maybe something else. One Leopard and one man-pad. I love it. So the enemy hasn't exactly set themselves up too well either, because a lot of their units are outside of the town here, and it makes it a lot easier for us to get shots like this and take them out as they try to retreat into town. One Martyr down, one Panzer Grenadier down. I couldn't even count all the losses there, but that was about 4 losses there of different vehicles, men, etc. Keep on firing, boys. Our tanks are missing a lot of shots, which is troubling, but for the ones that they are making, they're doing a damn good job. Okay, we just lost 2 BTR and a headquarters. Not good to be losing a headquarters this early on. Finally got a hit on that Panzer Grenadier squad, and you can see all of the blue dots there on the map. That is all enemy. Those are all enemy casualties, essentially. The red dots are, of course, our casualties. And this could be enemy already right here. It's pretty close, but hopefully not close enough to do any damage. All right, the artillery came in a bit late there. Thanks for nothing, guys. Could have waited, you know, or you could have fired earlier, but what can you do? There we go. So they're bombing the positions where the enemy was, which is pretty smart by the AI, but, you know, that's not where they are now. Uh-oh, we can't see that unit. But that's definitely a Leopard. They're firing again. They missed their second shot. And, okay, Soviet orders phase is about to begin. Man, that was actually an action-packed round there. That is intense. I want to take a look there because there were definitely some serious losses on both sides. At this point, all of these guys that are moving in the north, I might change their direction. For instance, I want to select this stack, and I want to go ahead and have them move deliberately over here and into town. That's really my goal. As for the rest of the orders, I'm pretty okay with everybody, you know, keeping their regular attack here. There's not too much else we can do, although we have some tanks back here. Let's select that stack, and we will move them hastily. Hopefully we can move them down here south of the town and maybe we'll get, you know, an easier entrance into the town, as it were. The rest of these guys already have their orders. There's not much else we need to do for them, especially these guys. These guys as well. Let's take a look here at the chat. Contact 1 ERA. Let's take a look here. Nice footage of the weasel in action there. So there, the weasel, yeah. Luckily, we destroyed it. The I designation clues you in that the one you're thinking of is simply T-80B. Thanks, Stimpack. In-game, it will be listed as T-80BM, which indicates that it has missiles. Interesting. ERA is explosive reactive armor. Very nice. I like that. Cool, man. So overall, pretty good stuff here. I think we're pretty much done with our turn. There's not much else that I really want to do. Except maybe, let me take a look up here at this infantry. I'm not so sure this is a smart idea, but we're going to move deliberately to that victory point with one infantry squad. And since that guy's going to move forward, I want this guy to take his place. So I'll select the stack, and I will move him deliberately right there. In fact, I'm going to move him here into this tiny village. It looks like there are some obstacles there, and I'm talking about that blue hexagon. That's going to hold us back more than likely 30 minutes. Now, the obstacles don't always work, but when they do, you know, that's a 30-minute difference, and it makes a big difference in the battle itself. Move this guy over here, a little bit out in the open, fair enough. And we could start firing with our arty, but again, I just don't feel we should right now. You know, at this particular time, the arty is just not going to be very useful because we don't know exactly where the enemy is. We could just fire randomly into the town, but I would actually rather the AI take over this one and do their thing. So let's let the AI deal with this. And we will keep on moving these guys as well. Let me select that stack. Now, this is an HQ stack, but I want them moving deliberately out here to Steinbergen as well. I think I actually said that properly. Congrats. Okay, let's hold. And I'm going to take these tanks, select the stack, and I'm going to try and move them hastily up here. And the reason I'm doing that is because we would actually have a bit of an advantage in terms of our elevation levels, and we could fire down on the enemies over here in Rintown. I'm actually taking that idea from several different military sources, but namely the NVA at the Battle of Dien Bien Phu, basically taking the mountains, firing down on the enemy, and also the Serbs outside of Gorazd did this similar tactic during the Yugoslav wars, or I guess you could call it the Yugoslavian Civil War, Bosnian conflict, etc. And that's what they did. They surrounded the city with artillery, and they were pretty much able to keep anybody from going in or out. So I'm going to try to surround the city with some tanks and just fire in before I make my ultimate move, I guess you could call it. We'll hold as well. A lot of people going to the same place here. Select this stack. And I already moved him to the south, but I want to make sure that he stays on the road. So let me do this, and that. Select the stack here, and we'll move hastily this way and that way. Taking the infantry with us as well. They've shown themselves to be very, very useful. And if you see that thing that says disembark, so basically these are infantry carriers. As you can see, the actual symbol changes from a NATO infantry counter or mechanized infantry counter to a BTR counter. And what's going to happen is these BTRs are going to reach the location, and then they're going to disembark the infantry. You don't want them staying in the BTR. I mean, the BTR is great against enemy infantry. It can put up a decent fight. It can definitely fire off some rounds itself. But, if a tank hits it or something like that, you've just lost an entire squad. We don't want that. Let's take a look here at the chat once again. Should try moving deliberately since I always get blasted in play by email, says Siri. Assault moves take 30 minutes before the unit begins moving proper as they prepare to assault. Interesting. Ooh. Deliberate movement. Okay, I like that. Thanks, Stimpack. The use of assault is thus to get to a position quickly without being super exposed in a hasty movement. It's also good at the start of a match because that's the only time you don't have to worry about the 30-minute windup. Very cool, man. So that makes sense. So we're going to start giving deliberate assault orders. Let me just quickly reselect these guys. I'm going to go ahead and select the stack. And let me give them a deliberate move order, really, in this case, just to make sure they actually get to the location I've set for them. And I think we can go ahead and turn it over to our NATO enemies, guys. You could also just go here. You could hit Start Turn Resolution, but it's much easier just to go ahead and hit Start over here. Let's see how we do. Fingers crossed. Or sickles crossed. Yeah, that BTR is getting hit bad. Should have disembarked. At least we got a hit on... Oh, nice, guys. We got a hit on one Leopard. One Leopard down. Of course, we traded some infantry units for that, but killing a Leopard, I think, is almost worth it. There we go. 2 BTRs and 2 mechanized rifle divisions. Those mechanized rifle divisions were inside the BTRs. So, you know, those infantry guys get vaporized with this attack. That's either a really stupid or a really brave enemy tank commander. Maybe both. Maybe both. Oh, we've already got some artillery coming in this early. It's too early in the morning for artillery like this. All right, so got a Leopard. Can we get another one? Yes, we can. Nice. So our tanks are getting closer to getting into town, and being rid of those Leopards makes me feel a little bit safer. Not too much, though. Still got a lot to go. Long way to go. Ooh, ATGM launch against one of our tanks. I knew they'd be prepared, but I'm just amazed that they can fire over the Vesser here and actually get some good shots. We've just stumbled across what I think might be a Martyr. Hopefully our tank spots it soon. Come on, boys, open fire. Enemies firing at us. So no, that's a flak battery. Unbelievable. But the ATGM launches here are doing really well. And this is exactly what happens when I play this mission as the West. I basically managed to decimate the Soviet army before they ever get to me. As you can see, we just had some RD drop on a very heavily fortified position by our men here, and that's going to almost certainly cost the lives of some men. I think it's going to hit a BTR. Yeah, that's a direct artillery strike on the BTRs. If an artillery round is big enough, it can absolutely shred through BTRs, APCs, etc. Tanks, it's pretty rare. I've seen it happen a few times, but it is pretty rare. All right, at least we're getting into town now. This is good. The people of Steinbergen are like, wait a minute, what's going on? This is strange. Nice. Look at that. Colonel, a suspected enemy HQ has been located at T2318. Send in the Stasi. What are you waiting for? Bring him in for counter-revolutionary activities. Once again, yeah, we were delayed 30 minutes by the obstacles. That's unfortunate. Well, we're starting to get into town. That's the important thing. I mean, we want to get to those victory points, and we are definitely starting to spot the enemy units here in town. Okay, wow, that was a pretty quick turn resolution phase. But I think we're on the right path, although our tanks did not move. So again, I think that goes to the 30-minute wait period thing. Kelania says, and hey, Kelania, I've not seen you in a while. Good to see you. This game looks pretty cool. Very cool. 43 viewers. I'm liking it, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and select the stack. We're moving into Engen. Actually, no, we'll do the assault. Everyone else has move orders, so there's not really a point. Although, let me go ahead and select this stack. I think we can now start using the artillery properly. So let's go ahead and do a barrage of neutralizing fire over here. And over here, oh, shame on me. I'm going to have to redo that. It's so annoying. 9. No, no. Do not do this. All right, you know, we'll call it fair. We're going to go ahead and allow that. Let's select the stack. Once again, neutralizing fire. We could also use a smoke screen here. It could be pretty useful for our guys moving into town. But I think right now I'm just going to go for the tried and true method of the neutralizing fire. So let's go ahead and drop around there where the suspected enemy HQ is. Drop some rounds there, and we're happy with that. Got some more artillery as well. Might as well use it. With this, I am going to try to do the smoke screen. So I'm going to pop one right there and maybe one right there. Hopefully that's sufficient. There we go. So we've dropped our units out. Our infantry units are now out of the BTR. I think we need to get out. At this point, we can't stay in that thing. We're going to get chopped up. That's pretty clear. And it looks like this APC is starting to move, but of course there's that 30-minute the 30-minute delay. It's going to take a while for us to get them in there. In the meantime, these guys are already moving to their locations. We're just going to let them keep doing what they're doing. Let's take a look here. Ooh, cool. Musso just dropped down there the first dev diary of Empires Apart. You guys definitely want to check that out. And I will be playing Empires Apart next week, so I'm really looking forward to that. I already put a video up on my channel, and it actually did pretty well. I really enjoy the game. I love the graphic style they've taken. It's just really, really fun to play. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the turn. Let's go. Let's hope for the best. For mother, I mean for East Germany. Yes, of course. No connection whatsoever. Here we go. Oh boy, our guys just got out of that vehicle, and already our mechanized rifle company's taking fire. Although they are moving off the 2200 point area. So maybe that's going to open it up for our tanks to move in an assault. Let's hope so. All right, there we go. That's our first strike, and they just happened to move out of that area as we struck it, which is, I mean, that's Murphy's Law for you, but you can see there the damage that artillery strike does to a town. Now we're hitting the suspected enemy HQ area. Getting a kill here would be very, very useful. Let's see, were our units correct? They were! Oh, one M5782 C2V just got destroyed by our arty. That's a command vehicle for sure. I'm telling you right now that a Stasi officer is getting a promotion for that. And now that we have that smoke screen, I actually think that wasn't such a bad idea. With the smoke screen there, we can move into town without, the enemy spotting us. Unfortunately, as our troops are moving from the north, they're a little late for that smoke screen protection, and they might still get hit pretty hard. Who ordered you to shoot those woods? That was the new location for the People's Hospital, and you completely just destroyed it. Oh boy. Artillery fire just barely missing them. And as you can see, once again, they moved out of the way just before we struck, or else we would have gotten a beautiful hit there. This is trying to hit the HQ, but unfortunately it hit the water, hit the Weser River. Sort of reminds me of, I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with, old World War II. And of course, this is way ahead of World War II, but old World War II armaments. And I just recently saw a story that I think it was the Thames. They found a giant World War II unexploded bomb. And I just wonder, in times of war like this, when those bombs hit the water and don't explode, how many unexploded bombs there are under, certain lakes, rivers, waterways, etc., and just how devastating those could be. Just lost 2 T-80s there. And we're delayed 30 minutes by those damn obstacles. I wish once you went over the obstacles once, you'd get rid of them. But no, you don't. I think when they turn yellow, I could be wrong, because right now they've turned yellow, and I'm not too familiar with what that means. That could mean that the obstacle is no longer there or won't stop us for as long. Because, I mean, the way I think about it, if you clear an obstacle, right, the rest of your units are going to be able to pass in quite easily. But that might not be the case. I'm not sure. Here we go. We've claimed a victory point, 2,000 victory point hex. We've got to hold it. I mean, this is a very important victory point hex. And once again, firing into the river. More unexploded munitions. Of course, most of them do explode, even when they hit the water. And they're hitting that same position there. We expected there to be a lot of people there, but unfortunately all that we have, or a lot of military personnel, all we have are civilians. Not very good. The world is not going to look kindly upon us. But our goal in this game is to unify Germany. So, of course, we're trying to unify it under the red banner. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that arty strike didn't even touch our tank. And we got a kill inside Rinteln against a Panzer MRS M113 ATG. I'm guessing the ATG stands for anti-tank gun. If it does, that's very useful. We also hit that HQ position once again. Did we get another kill? No, we didn't. Looks like the officers are inside some buildings, probably hiding away. Hey, I'd do the same thing. There we go. Nice hit by the artillery, and we took out another PZ MRS. Anti-tank gun. Of course, they moved up. They've got some Leopards here. They just hit one of our T-80s. I was hoping our T-80 could get some decent reactionary fire there. Oh, their ATGM launches are legendary. Got to give it to the enemy, even at that distance, right across the Weser, getting amazing hits. And I was trying to sneak around. If you guys see sneaking here from the bottom, that's not going to work against this enemy. And by the way, guys, if you're confused about the lines when firing occurs, so like sometimes you'll see a blue line and sometimes you'll see a red line. The blue line is the enemy unit firing. The red line is our unit firing. Obviously, if you're playing as NATO, that's reversed. But in this case, that's what it means. Ah, I see what the yellow is now. It's a minefield. So blue are obstacles, yellow are minefields. Stay away from both. But in this case, we had to go through them. You know, there is no other way around except through the south, which is where we're going now. And they conveniently placed that anti-tank guided missile right there in the south, just in case we tried to do that. Now, we do have some smoke around the city here, so hopefully it'll be easier to get inside. There we go. They're starting to go to their location, finally. So they're going to get up there on that elevation. It's going to take them a while, though. I mean, it's not the easiest ground to move on, but it's a start. And I think I might go ahead and select the stack. Not sure if this is going to be a good idea, but I'm going to move hastily over here to the center of town. Let's hold. Yeah, ammo dumps in the river, exactly. Yes, exactly. Well, not really. I mean, technically we're playing as East Germany. Of course, we're a puppet state of the Soviet Union, but we have to keep up all pretenses that this is an act by East Germany and not necessarily the Soviets. You know, we don't want to turn this into a complete world war. So I think even if this actually did occur, alternative history, I think more than likely the Soviets would do what the Russians kind of do today with certain proxy wars, and that is, you know, claim that they have nothing to do with it, but that they essentially support the war. That's what I would guess. Again, that is just a guess. It's not at all something that I can confirm. But I think they would probably say, no, this is a war East Germany has begun, and we are supporting them in the war. You know, we're only sending material and training. We're not sending any men. Of course, that's not necessarily the case. But I don't think they would want to turn this into a massive world war. If there was a fight over Germany, the future of Western Europe would certainly be in question. But, Yeah, it would be a complicated question. There have been many books written about the subject. Tom Clancy, for instance, does a ton of fiction on what would happen if there was a fictional war between the USSR and the US. It certainly wouldn't be pretty, let's put it that way. In this case, the USSR and NATO, which the US is a part of, yeah, it would be a nasty war, possibly turning into a nuclear war. Luckily in this game, well, actually, depending on some mods, there is no nuclear war. But once again, depending on some mods, the game has a pretty deep following, and there's absolutely some modifications. If Muso can put the forum link, that would be awesome. And basically, you can head there and get some modifications for Flashpoint campaigns, some of which get into that possible nuclear scenario. Let's grab these guys. That just doesn't sound right. Let's grab these guys here, move them hastily into the town once again. And I want to move this tank so badly to the south to grab that next point, but I know better. I just know better. I know it's not going to be the best thing to do because we're going to end up getting just swamped. There's no doubt about it. We could also keep firing at that position, but I think we'll let the AI handle it. They seem to have a pretty good grasp of what's going on. Any news on Southern Storm? Good question. Yes, we were. Thank you, Muso. That's the one. So I'm telling you, the amount of mods for this game is huge. We've actually already done a few on the channel, but I think what we did was a skin mod, which was really cool. Basically changes the look of some of the units, changes the look of some of the terrain. I personally already love this terrain and love the units. Specifically, like I said, when you see the damage done to the terrain, I just think that's something that most war games should have. You know, not only showing the damage done to other enemy units, which you can see on the field, but also the damage done just to the civilian infrastructure. And over here in Rintown, it's awful. It's just, even just what we've done here, I mean, that's definitely going to cause some casualties. Let's see what we do here. No, I'm going to select this guy again. Let's try moving deliberately. 1, 2, 3. And holding. This tank. Let's grab him, select the stack. Move deliberately, and this time I'm going to move 1. And yes, I am aware of the ATGMs, but I'm also aware that we have a little smoke screen here, which should protect us temporarily. These tanks are already going to their position, and so are these guys. I'm thinking if I did this scenario over, I might take another group of tanks, or 2 of these groups, and put them right here on this area above the Wesser. It's basically a land-based area that the elevation's a bit higher, and maybe then we could hit the enemy units and see the enemy units over here that are hitting us with so many ATGMs. You carry those ATGMs in your pocket like so many nickels and dimes. If anybody remembers what movie that comes from, you get some points. Or what movie I'm referencing there. All right, let's start. Let's hope for the best. There we go. Immediately we got a kill on enemy martyr. They're going to move back. We just want to hold our position with that tank. That's its job. Just hold the position. Unfortunately, these leopards are going to make that very hard. We're returning fire down the road here, but we are not managing to hit these guys. And nope, it looks like even down here at the southernmost part of the village, they have obstacles. And we've got an artillery barrage incoming. Stay on your tanks. All right, not too bad. And those tanks are finally getting up to that elevation we want them at. Might be a bit too late for that, but we'll see what happens. And we've got an AA gun behind us firing. I think our guys will spot that pretty soon. But it is a little disconcerting. Okay, artillery. Oh, poor civilians. Okay, we got that 1,000 victory points, guys, near London. So now we've got 3,000 VPs. Unfortunately, our tanks were ordered back in certain areas here. And we've also got some enemy artillery striking this area. But luckily, we've got our tanks up there on that elevation. So let's see if it makes a difference. It might not. The distance may be too great. There might be too many houses in the way, etc. But I'm hoping that being up on that elevation, that's going to help our tanks. Unfortunately, our guys moving in from the south here are already getting hit by those ATGMs. And they're doing a pretty good job at keeping us out of the town here. Oh, airstrike, guys. Here is an airstrike coming in. Oh, we may have just gotten a decent hit here. Yeah. No, we just lost 2 MiGs. Unbelievable. So the enemy AA just killed 2 of our MiGs. That's a huge loss. MiGs, of course, being Russian strike aircraft. I mean, there's plenty of different kinds of MiGs. I'm pretty sure that, you know, the more modern versions of MiGs could act as both bombers and fighters. Pretty advanced stuff. Look at that, man. 2 T-80s killed. I'm amazed that we lost 2 MiGs. That's just disappointing. They went in for an awesome bombing run, which I thought was going to just devastate that side of the river, and that didn't happen. There's a nice hit. We've got some artillery coming down on the enemy tanks. Again, it's very rare for Artie to pop a tank, but it can happen. Oh, yeah, we got lucky there, guys. Oh, no, it's just a Panzer Grenadier division. Still, not bad. Now we've got to get those guys out of the BTRs. Enemy AA gun is opening fire on us. There we go. We got rid of another enemy Gepard. ATGM launch. And this is why we've got to get those guys out. And luckily, they've already dropped out. If you see the actual the symbol, the NATO symbol has changed to a mechanized infantry symbol. I think the AI did that automatically. So that would actually be a really smart move by the AI to evacuate the vehicles and get out. If that's an automatic thing the AI does, hey, wonderful. I'm sure there's probably an option in the game to turn that off and give yourself complete and total control over the battlefield. But when the AI makes good decisions like that, I got to take them. Unfortunately, these guys are in a lot of trouble no matter what they do. Enemies taking back that point. Ooh, ATGM launch. Our guys are returning fire, but it's just not going to pierce an AA weapon whatsoever. It's not going to happen. That's us firing. Firing again. Emergency resupply the enemy is getting. Ooh, enemy just took out our last T-80 in town there. That was only a matter of time. We've got some enemy already being called in here as well. Actually, that's the Guards rifles. That's neutralizing fire from our own batteries. Oh, the poor infantry. Yeah, they're just going to basically totally massacre those guys. Not much else to be done. ATGM launch hits, but we missed twice with our tanks. I'm going to have to send the Stasi to pay the visit to some of these people's homes. I think their families might be counter-revolutionaries. This is not good. The fact that we missed that same enemy APC numerous times, but they managed to launch an ATGM that hits us, unacceptable. And look at that hex, man. So many dead Soviets in that hex. We've lost a lot of guys there. Infantry, vehicles, etc. All right, let's hope we get lucky with this one. And again, Fog of War is on, so we don't actually know if there are any enemy units there. We will know if we get a kill, of course. ATGM shot almost certainly here. Oh, maybe not. That's good to know. We're firing an artillery strike into the minefield. I wonder if that maybe can destroy the minefield. That would be pretty cool. In the future, another thing I would do, guys, in this battle, I just realized, absolutely brilliant thing to do, is before advancing with all of our units, we could have taken all these arty units and we could have put a smoke barrage all the way down here. You see this? All the way down here. So all of these units that got taken out over here, they would at least make it to the start of the town or the city, whatever you want to call it over here. I think Rinteln is classified more as a town than a city. But we could easily get over here and get in there quickly. Really, the goal here is to get to these positions and hold them as quickly as we can, to move with speed. A lot of these guys that are moving off the roads, they're obviously going to take a bit longer. Also, you know, the debris in our path doesn't help one bit. Another thing I want to do is immediately select this stack. And let's hold. I want to get these guys out of their vehicles. At this point, I'm just going to keep them there. Apparently, we could even build a bridge across the Weser here. I think it would take a really long time, though. But it is possible. Okay, let's take a look here at the chat. We're coming close to the end of the stream here, guys. Mech rifles getting chewed up. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think the bridge would hold. You think you're right, Pixel. That hex is painful to look at. Again, I recommend you guys, after this stream, go into our channel history and check out our other Flashpoint Campaign streams where we played as NATO, and we actually made the map much bloodier for the Soviets, where you had situations like this all over the map. It still looks terrible. I mean, our assault is failing, no doubt about it, but we still have a chance. Remember, all we really have to do are grab these points. The enemy doesn't have as many men as we do, but they certainly have those Leopards, which are pretty decent tanks for all intents and purposes. I mean, you can't argue with that. And that's it being said, our T-80s are great. We have more of them, so in the future, if I'm going to be playing as the Soviets, I've learned a few things, and that is approach with a smoke barrage, maybe throw some arty in as like sort of preparatory fire, move forward with the infantry first, let the enemy target your infantry, and then move in with your armor. And actually, in the rules of modern combat especially, that's pretty basic stuff. You know, we get like ideas from Hollywood movies that you want to move armor in first with infantry following. That's almost never the case. You never really want to do that. You want to have your infantry moving in first with your tanks supporting the infantry. Here, we just sent our tanks in on a full blitz run, thinking we were back in World War II, and it just doesn't work like that anymore. Not with ATGMs, not with the modern equipment. You know, it's much easier to take out tanks advancing on your position. These guys up on the hill clearly are not doing too much for us, so I'm actually going to order them to assault Rinteln, and actually, I'm going to try to get behind the enemy HQ here, and then hold. So let's do that. These guys are going to stay in place because we already hold that position. I'm looking to see if there are any other victory points here in the north. It doesn't look like there are. So I'll select this stack, and I'll move them deliberately over here. Okay. I like that. Now, if you guys want to see some more Flashpoint Campaigns action, I'm going to go ahead and save this campaign, just in case, although I do think that this one's a lost cause for the Soviets. That being said, you know, let us know, obviously, in the User's Choice stream. Let us know on the forums what you guys like. I think we should even maybe start a forum topic. And again, I don't visit the forums nearly as much as I should, but about what games you guys want to see coming up on future streams. Not just the user streams, but just streams in general. All right, guys, let's see. I think we're going to go ahead and do another turn here. Let's hope for the best. Again, I'm going to let the AI call in the arty on this one. I'm going to select the stack here. I'm going to try and move some of these artillery units a bit closer. I don't think it makes a difference because, quite frankly, our arty is already pretty darn powerful at this distance, but it couldn't hurt. So let's do it. I'm also going to try, let's grab this. We'll do a barrage of neutralizing fire on the enemy HQ, or suspected enemy HQ position. Okay, and I think we will call that a day. Make sure these guys are, yeah, they're already moving in. Here we go, guys. Vicious luck. Zarodino. Okay, we're back in the town with some tanks. Not sure how long that's going to last, but an AA gun is already opening fire on our tank. They don't seem to be too afraid of us, considering the fact that they just destroyed a bunch of our men. And there's our artillery fire going in to hit the enemy HQ. Come on. Now, again, that's a suspected enemy HQ, so I'm pretty sure they probably would have moved by now. At least now we're flanking this particular weapon system with 2 tank companies. I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference, but hopefully it does. Nice. I like to see how quickly that infantry moves. There we go. We got him finally. That's going to be some payback for all of those men we lost. The Gepards. Gepard A1s. Nasty little buggers, I must say. Here we go. Oh, I was really hoping for an HQ kill there. Okay, some more smoke. Nice. I like it. Of course, they're still hitting us with the ATGM launch. Ideally, we also drop some of that smoke on the edge of the river, because there's been a lot of fire coming from that position. Okay, another strike. Keep those fingers crossed. Again, though, I would assume that the NATO HQ, after that first hit, would have moved. Gotta love those intelligence services, though. And now we are definitely in town. Oh, thanks. That's nothing better than friendly fire. 2 BTRs killed by our own tanks. We did reclaim the point, at least. I don't know how long that's going to last. And we are getting quite a lot of infantry into town. Now, again, one of the tricks here at playing as the Soviets that I do know is to overwhelm the enemy with numbers. If we can get a bunch of infantry into this town, a bunch of BTRs, a few tanks, even if they do outgun us, we're going to win. You know, just numbers alone, they're not going to be able to destroy all of us, and we're going to be able to hold those positions, even though we're taking some pretty serious losses. And certainly, when we played NATO in the past, that's exactly what happened. When we engaged with, with the Soviets, we were able to kill tons of them, tons. But at the end of the game, they would still have enough men to take the positions and basically hold them. So, numbers here are going to work for us. Smoke is going to be very important, and it looks like our infantry just got a kill on a C2V, M577 C2V, which is pretty nice. In this case, it was not an HQ vehicle, although that is a common vehicle for headquarters to give their orders from. So we didn't get too lucky, but hey, a kill is a kill. All right, artillery strike right here. Actually, that's an airstrike. That is definitely an airstrike. Enemy airstrike for sure. Wow, I'm surprised we survived that one. You could see there the pattern of bombardment was quite different. Almost looked like some sort of cluster bomb. So those ATGM launches are going to be a bit harder for the enemy now that we're in the town. I'm pretty sure that when you're on those city tiles, it actually makes it harder for your units to get hit. And it looks like it's only a matter of time before they retake that victory point. Okay, so this is letting us know that the battlefield conditions have changed. You know, sometimes obviously it's cloudy, sometimes it's clear, and that's going to affect visibility for us overall. Nice shot. Oh, nasty arty hit there. And I don't think that's friendly arty. That's definitely enemy arty there. Pretty good shot right on the infantry. I would have expected them to fire on the road south of Ungern, but oh well, they did hit an HQ. And the enemy's getting a lot of emergency resupply. That's another thing that can happen when you're playing as NATO, is running out of ammunition. Very real possibility, especially when you're consistently firing at waves and waves of advancing Soviets. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching the stream. I had a great time. I hope you guys did too. And as always, if you want to see some more Flashpoint campaigns, just let us know in the forums. Also, make sure to check out the forums for some Flashpoint Campaigns mods, which I would highly recommend. As always, you guys can catch me on the Agrippa Maxentius channel on YouTube. I appreciate anybody stopping by, subscribing, and Musso is going to put down the awesome Slytherin and Matrix YouTube channels here in the chat. Well, I'll see you guys on Monday. I can't wait, and I hope you all have a great day. Glory to the Soviet Union, but not this time, unfortunately.